Welcome back to episode number 4 of the Sieben show. In this episode, I want to talk about the importance of networking. So, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about why I love networking, some of my absolute favorite ways to actually go about networking, what impact that it has actually had on my life, and how I plan on actually using networking to not only exponentially grow my businesses, but also to become the best version of myself. What's going on, guys? Mike here. So, in this episode, as mentioned, we're going to be talking about networking. And so, this is something that I've done a lot of very recently, but truthfully speaking, it has not always been the case. Networking is something that I had always heard time and time again, both in my corporate industries and really just even before I got into a corporate job. In terms of being in college and academia, I had always heard that networking was the key to success. And so I didn't really internalize that until the last couple of years when I actually got the ability to see networking in action, to see what networking ultimately can do for you, and to really reap the benefits of networking the way that I had. And so, very simply, networking is just getting around like minded people. And I do believe there is a right and a wrong way to network. So, I don't think networking is going out with people randomly, partying, spending time, getting intoxicated, whether it's drugs or alcohol, and just spending time with new people, right? That's hanging out. That's not productive in any way. I also don't think networking is going to industry events or going to random events without a purpose, without a goal in mind, and just going for the sake of going and going just to meet people. So when I first started networking for business, for my business, I actually started with a couple of local events in my city. There's a couple people here in the city that put on regular marketing style events. And so while this wasn't exactly relevant to my Amazon business, this really opened my eyes to what networking can be, how you can effectively network, and really for the first time helped me to get around other like-minded individuals. And so we're going to talk about networking offline, in person, and we're going to talk about networking online, how that can happen, how you can reach out to different people that you might want to reach out to, get into different groups, all of those things, right? Opinion, one is better than the other. We're going to go over that as well. But my first experience really was going to these in-person events, and they were events that would be about 20 to 40 people in a room. They would rent small hotel spaces or just wherever areas. They would advertise these on their various social media platforms. They also have a website called Meetup as well. So I learned about them through a couple of different ways initially, both seeing it on their social media. You know how it is when you follow somebody, see what they're all about, and then you usually don't interact by whatever the case may be the first time. Maybe you're watching this and you're seeing me for the first time. You've listened to the last couple episodes. Maybe you saw one of my YouTube videos. Maybe you know me from somewhere else. Maybe we've never actually interacted. Maybe you've never actually, downloaded any of my resources, been in any of my courses, gotten involved in me in any way. That usually happens, right? That's to be expected. That's human nature. And so I'd seen these people around on social media. Then I saw that they were doing this meetup, and it actually was completely free. They had a free networking event, right? And the goal of their event was to bring people together, to provide them a ton of value, and then sell a course, program, whatever the case may be off the back of that. Right. And so I went to a couple of these meetups, and each of them had different speakers, different times, all these types of things. And so they were always a great experience. They always put me in a room with people who were either like-minded and had a business or were moving forward with things, or They wanted to be in that position. They wanted to have a business for themselves. They wanted to connect with other individuals, and had a similar mindset in that respect, right? And so I went to that event. I went to another event, and then I started actively looking for events in my area. Right. I started to look for people who were selling on Amazon, who were selling wholesale, who were selling resale, who were selling private label, whatever the case may be. And so this was pre-COVID, by the way. And so I started to go to a few of these different events and meet these people and connect with these people. And it was awesome to see that we had a local community in, a large city, but a Canadian city nonetheless. So much more of this stuff is better advertised in the United States. So it was cool to see that we had a little community around us. And so fast forward a little bit, COVID hits, right? We can't have these meetups. We can't meet in person. And I'm not going to linger and talk about COVID too much, but just to say that this was the beginning or the first opportunity that I had to actually network digitally, right? And so now I had this need, this hunger that wasn't being fulfilled by the physical in-person events that I was going to. And so I shifted my focus to look for digital online events. And so from these digital events, I was able to meet many different people that I actually now regard as friends. A couple people are even business partners at this point. And some of the best relationships that I personally hold today are a result of networking style events. So I went to a bunch of these digital events, and these were in the form of, even just Facebook groups, but Zoom calls, webinars, all these different things. All these events were happening during COVID. It was a weird time, but I went to a lot of these and I learned a lot, and I met people there, and I had great results and outcomes of that as well. Right. And so I really fell in love with digital events there too. And actually, I did meet a couple of the friends. I ended up joining their mastermind that I meet every single Wednesday with like-minded entrepreneurs. We're put into little groups. We talk about our businesses. We talk about opportunities that we can share with each other, share our experiences. And again, I've come to call some of these people friends. I'm actually going on a vacation this coming weekend. We're going to Phoenix. We're going to an event there. Super Bowl's in Phoenix. So I'm so excited to go on this trip. And networking relationships, I should say, were a result of networking with these people, of putting myself out there, being in this group, being in this opportunity. I've done business with these people as well and made money with these people in a couple of different areas too. So just to say that physical in-person networking was awesome. Digital networking has also been amazing for me. I want to talk about as well how I met my current business partners for the training program. So MPSH, if you don't know, Marketplace Superheroes is a company I am now a partner in. Marketplace Superheroes has helped over 10,000 people get education towards starting or growing their online Amazon business. And so this past year, I recently became a partner, flew out to Ireland where they're located, and officially became a partner in the business. It's been an incredible experience. And so that entire relationship was a form of networking. And actually, one of their employees who is in charge of affiliate relationships, creating partnerships, brand management, all of those types of things, actually reached out to me through social media of all things. Reached out to me, found me on YouTube, here on YouTube, sent me an email message and said that they wanted me to actually promote a program, a course of MPSH's, right? They wanted to work together to do that. And now they sold private label at the time. I was doing, and in the future will continue to do, Amazon wholesale. So I shrugged that opportunity off, and thankfully they were a persistent bunch, and it ended up turning into a partnership. So instead of me talking about their courses and programs online, helping other people discover them, I actually created a course and a program for them and with them on Amazon wholesale. And so to date, we've brought in over 1,200 students into the wholesale portion of the program called Accelerate. That has been an amazing journey. And again, something I attribute back to networking of sorts. And so now let's talk about, we chatted about what impact that's had on me, how I got started with networking. Now I want to talk about how I think networking is going to affect me and my businesses in the future, as well as some opportunities that we're actually creating to network with people as well. So I love digital networking. It's responsible for some of my favorite relationships and significant income for me, as well as a good business partnership, so many things. But I personally do think that in-person networking events are just that much better. The ability to really sit with someone, sit in front of someone, talk to someone face to face, and build a deeper, more meaningful relationship with them, I think is absolutely second to none, right? Think about it this way. If you've ever connected with somebody online, maybe if you've exchanged DMs or messages, talk to them a bunch, maybe play video games with them on like Xbox or whatever it might be. And then either imagine or think to a time where you met someone online and then met them in person. How much more special was that, right? How much better friends did you become in that situation? So even if you haven't, you can imagine what that would be like. And so for me, meeting people physically, having those conversations, networking, talking about your business, your lives, your feelings, your relationships, all of those things is like that next level, that extra step. And so one of my goals for 2023 is to do more networking, go to more trade shows for my business, go to more mastermind events or meetup events with people that are in similar businesses to mine so I can learn from them. I can get things that I can apply to my businesses, tactics, tricks, whatever the case may be, and just getting in front of more like-minded individuals. And so I've talked about this a little bit through my various channels. It's a concept that's been around for a long time, but it is essentially, I call it progress by association, right? I'm very loosely saying this, but essentially the summation of the 5 people that are closest to you, right? You are a summation of the 5 people that are closest to you. And so I believe this. I have kind of my own adaptation of this, but I think that the people that you surround yourself with, friends, family, business partners, colleagues, employees, whatever the case may be, have a direct impact on you, consciously and subconsciously. And the things they do, say, the actions they take actually affect you. And that can be positive or that can be negative. And so if you're hanging around in negative individuals, if you're spending time with family, friends, acquaintances, whatever, and they're always talking about negative, they're focusing on the bad things. They're not in a situation of abundance. They're not thinking about how they can better themselves. What else is out there? They're not thinking about opportunities. They're not thinking and talking about ways to improve themselves. Then you're going to go down a dark path. So I encourage you, if you haven't done this recently, to have a think about who you spend the most amount of time with and if that's a positive or a negative thing. And so I think for a lot of people, they're in a situation where whether it's friends or family or a combination, there is a lot of that. And I'll tell you, since I became an entrepreneur, I did cut out some of my relationships intentionally. Some relationships aren't as strong anymore just because of the way things are, because of the fact that I choose to spend my time on my businesses, my closest family members, my now closest friends. Those relationships have just drifted apart. And so what I want to say is that's okay, right? You don't have to completely cut somebody out of your life in order for you to move on, for you to better yourself, for you to improve, right? You don't have to cut out everybody. You don't have to tell them, hey, we're no longer friends or we're not going to be spending time together anymore. Those relationships will work themselves out. But if you're out there, if you're networking, if you're meeting new people, if you're having positive relationships, those people are going to be attracted to you and you're going to attract those people. And you're going to soon find yourself in a position where you're constantly growing. You're growing your knowledge, you're growing your business, you're growing your health, getting out to the gym, doing physical activity, eating the right things. All of this has an impact, and the people around you, their actions, things they think about, where they spend their time has an impact on you. So networking events are generally groupings and meetings of people who all want better for themselves. And so they're going to bring that mindset to the meeting, to the conversation, and they're going to bring things that are going to help you to better yourself as well. And so within the Marketplace Superheroes community, we're going to have a number of different meetups and events for our clients, our students, our members throughout the year. So we can share our messages, we can learn from our students, we can network, come together and benefit each other. I'm going to be going to these different trade shows that are going to help my business. I'm going to be doing masterminds and meetups with some of my friends, acquaintances, and new people that I meet throughout the year as well. And so for me, I'm incredibly grateful, first off, to be able to do that. But I also think that the mindset and position that I'm in would not have been possible if I wasn't doing it in the first place, if I wasn't taking the initiative to go to the free events, to find Facebook groups of like-minded individuals, right? Facebook is a fantastic platform for groupings of communities of people, right? Join a group, come together, DM other people, make posts, connect with people in those posts. Even YouTube, right? Creators create content like myself. If you're watching this, you're watching my content, but there's a community behind my content. There's people that resonate with my content. And so whether we connect with them on a platform like YouTube, on a platform like Facebook, whether you meet in real life and go to an event and get together, these are all forms of networking in some way. And so that's my story of why networking is so important to me, how networking has impacted me and helped me get to where I am today. And actually, I think networking is going to be one of the many keys to success that's going to help me grow my businesses to the millions and millions of dollars that I want to achieve in the future. I already know that that's the case. So I'm going to be here consistently doing the things that I need to do day in, day out, always looking for the next meetup, the next event, and the next group of people I can surround myself with that can positively impact me. And so if you are interested in doing a meetup, networking, maybe coming together in a mastermind at some point, actually just let me know down in the comment section. Just put a hashtag networking. Put a hashtag networking down into the comment section. I'll know that you're interested. I'll know that that's something that you're thinking about. And as opportunities arise for these certain things that we're going to be sharing to the public, I'll be sure to be talking about it, to invite you to these events and give you the opportunity to be involved in networking, because I want to share that with the world, because I know how much it's impacted me as well. So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. If you are not already, this is your first episode, feel free to subscribe. Also, make sure to smash that notification bell. This show is going to be happening frequently. I want to bring out a weekly episode to you. We are going to have the first number of episodes, as you can tell, is going to be me sharing my experiences, my backgrounds, my methodologies, and information that's just up here in my brain. And then over time, we're going to bring on special guests. We're going to bring some of my mentors, some of my colleagues, maybe even some of my employees as well. So again, thank you so much for coming to this one. We will see you in the next episode.